Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Talk Junkies, where we talk a lot of junk. Talk junkies. But, anyways, I want to get into today's video, and this is for all the Chiefs fans out there in all the Chiefs Kingdom. Anyone who's listening to this video, I'd really like you guys to pay attention to my thoughts and analysis. And anyone who was at Arrowhead last week, or not even last week, but Thursday night against the Chargers, and my thoughts about that game and what is truly about to happen with the Chiefs this season. So, when you break it down and you legitimately look at what's truly going on within the organization of the Kansas City Chiefs, you have to, one, realize who we have as quarterback. And our quarterback is Patrick Mahomes. Number 15 from Texas Tech. The dude is a straight... there are really no words to describe what Patrick has done this season. We all know the left-handed pass. We all know the no-look pass. We all know the 4th and 9 pass to Tyreek Hill against the Baltimore Ravens. We know all those things. We know that Patrick Mahomes has thrown for 45 touchdowns this year with 11 interceptions and 2 rushing touchdowns. We know that Patrick is the man. He is the face of the franchise. He's in his second year. He sat back behind Alex Smith last year and learned his way into the NFL. And not only did he do that, but he sat behind his father, who played in Major League Baseball for X amount of seasons, 7 to 8, I believe. The dude is a straight NFL player, no matter how we look at it. And no matter what anyone says, Patrick Mahomes is the future of the Kansas City Chiefs, okay? We all know that his contract will expire in 2 to 3 years, and we're going to have to pay him big money, real big money, okay? And the Chiefs have a lot of salary cap coming in to next year, $44 million to be exact, and we have to wonder what we're going to do with that salary cap. If it were to me, it would be all defense, and we all understand why it should be all defense. The Chargers game is an example of why, and many other games this season, why we should probably go all defense the following season with all the draft picks we have. Now, if you are subscribed to my channel and you look at earlier videos of me when I covered the Kansas City Chiefs, you will realize and see why the Chiefs not making any trades before the deadline for defense will ruin the Chiefs' Super Bowl chances for 2018/19. And I think we all can agree upon that by watching the Kansas City Chiefs defense play this year. It's very frustrating to watch as a Chiefs fan, and being an adult for the first time, for us being relevant offensively in the numbers that we're putting up this year, which are historical, which I know we've similarly done in 2003 when we also had no defense. It just seems to be the trend with the Chiefs. We can find pass rushers, but when it comes to secondary, we really haven't been there. But anyways, I guess what I'm trying to say is being a Chiefs fan is hard, man. It's really, really hard. It's really, really super, super, super hard to be a Chiefs fan. You go back to 95 when Lynn Elliott missed the field goal to beat the Colts when Rich Gannon was playing in the playoffs. And then you go 2003 when we had the prolific offense. Tony Gonzalez, Trent Green, Eddie Kennison, Dante Hall, Priest Holmes. The best offensive line, arguably in football history, in my opinion. Top 5 offensive line ever to play in the National Football League. Willie Rolfe, Will Shields, John Tate, Casey Wegman. I'm forgetting one person. But it's really extremely frustrating to be a Chiefs fan. That year, we lost to the Colts against Peyton Manning in the no-punt game. And then it just keeps going. It keeps going. Matt Castle takes us to the playoffs. We finally get a playoff win against the Houston Texans a couple of years ago with Tom Savage as quarterback. We lose to the Colts by 28 points. We lose to the we lose to the Colts when we were up 28 points. That has to be the biggest playoff blunder of all time. We lose to the Titans when we're up 14 points. The Chiefs continue to lose in the playoffs. We all saw it last week or on Thursday night whenever they had to just bring up the statistic that we've lost 6 straight home games in the playoffs. It's never been done in NFL history. The Royals finally won a World Series, in 2015. When will the Chiefs win a Super Bowl? And if you had to ask me, in my opinion, whether it matters or not. The Kansas City Chiefs will win a Super Bowl, but it will be when Andy Reid is gone. When Andy Reid is no longer the coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, the Chiefs will win a Super Bowl. Andy Reid will not get over his own mistakes. Growing up and living in this life for 29 years that I've had, and I know this not a long time, but you look at Sean McVay, he's 32 years old, and he's an NFL coach for the St. Louis Rams, and just watch him. I mean, I know the Rams lost tonight to the Eagles, to Nick Foles, and it was a great game to watch. But you watch Andy Reid, and you just watch what he does, and his play calling, and his clock management, and he's been to the Super Bowl with the Eagles with Donovan McNabb, and he's just looked at as this quarterback guru, and he's looked upon just turning these quarterbacks around and making them just extremely well, and they play their best. But if anyone in their right mind watched Michael Vick play when he was with the Atlanta Falcons before any of his incidents with the dogfighting, we all can come back and we can look at and just realize that how good Michael Vick was how good Michael Vick was. And I know when he came to the Eagles, he did have some good seasons. He had Jeremy Maclin at receiver. He also had Deshaun Jackson. He didn't have that in Atlanta. So when Michael Vick comes out and says, oh, yeah, Andy Reid was such a good coach, he developed me as a quarterback and more of a pocket passer. No, Michael Vick, you ran the ball. You had two outstanding wide receivers in the NFL, and both in their prime. That is why you were good. You had two elite, fast wide receivers playing the game. And, yes, Andy does call good play calls. When he sits down and he makes play calls, and I've never been an NFL coach, and I know that I probably sound stupid even saying this, but I know he makes good play calls. That's fine. That's dandy. But it's never won him a Super Bowl. Look at Doug Peterson. He won a Super Bowl with, under Andy. Well, he was underneath Andy Reid at one point, goes to the Eagles as a head coach, and then he wins a Super Bowl with Nick Foles as his quarterback. Andy Reid doesn't do that. He finds a way to lose games. Literally last week against the Chargers, with 3 minutes left in the game, his first play call is run the ball with Damian Williams, who has never started a game this year because of the situation with Kareem Hunt. He runs the ball with Damian Williams. Can we all pause for station identification? Thank you for listening to blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. No. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You're going to hand the ball off to Damian Williams when you have the best quarterback in football this year, the front runner for MVP. Last week, whenever we played the Baltimore Ravens, on a 4th and 9, he runs to his right at 15 miles per hour, throws against his body, and throws the ball to Tyreek Hill for a first down on 4th and 9 for over 40 yards. Let that sink in, folks. Let that sink in. But not even 4 days later, on 1st and 10 with 3 minutes left, when you're up by 7 points and you have to get a first down to beat the Chargers because our defense is incompetent. Our defensive coordinator is absolutely trash. He doesn't know how to scheme. He has the wrong players in at the right time and the right players in at the wrong time. And Bob Sutton, and he won't fire him because everyone knows whenever you talk to anyone about Andy Reid, he's just really loyal to his coaching staff. He's really just loyal. That's all he is. He won't fire anyone because he just loves them so much. No, get over yourself, dude. Get over yourself. We're all in jobs where we don't like people or we love people and we don't want to fire them, but we have to. Because you know what, Andy Reid, it's part of life. Get over yourself. Put someone in position. Quit sitting down next to Patrick Mahomes, who sat a whole year behind Alex Smith last year and learned absolutely the most important intangibles of football. And Andy Reid's going to take credit for that. And anytime anyone talks about Patrick Mahomes this year, they all just talk about, well, Andy Reid, just look at him, whether it's Tony Romo or Trent Green or whoever else calls games on Sundays or Sunday night or Monday nights. Well, Andy just sits next to him, he talks to him, looks over the plays and all this and all that. No, Andy, get up, watch your defense be the worst defense in football, 30th, whatever have you. It's just frustrating, man. It's frustrating as a Chiefs fan. The Chiefs could be a lot better this year if they would have made a trade at the deadline, before the deadline, like I said. There were plenty players available. You had Fowler from the Jags, you had Collins, and then Collins, the safety from the Giants, or the cornerback Jenkins. Chiefs had that opportunity. A second-round pick. They have an extra second-round pick this year, going into next year, to make that trade. With this offense, the first offense in NFL history for 14 straight games to average 26 points a game. That's the first time ever, Chiefs fans. First time ever. And Andy Reid's going to fucking blow it. He's going to blow it he's just going to blow it. How frustrating is that? How long has the NFL been around and we're the first team ever to average 26 points a game through 14 games? Are you kidding me? What is Andy Reid doing? What are we doing as the Chiefs? I know Kareem Hunt is gone. Damian Williams is a good screen running back. He has speed. On a first down and 10, and I know we had 2 penalties after that, false starts. I know that. What are you doing? With 8 seconds left to go, 5 seconds left on the play clock, Andy Reid calls a timeout against the Chargers. A timeout when Phillip Rivers looks baffled and his offense looks incompetent. What is Andy Reid doing? He calls a timeout. Are you kidding me? What is going on with the state of the Kansas City Chiefs? Clark Hunt, you need to wake up right now. Kansas City Chiefs Kingdom, you need to wake up right now. What are we doing? We are an NFL contender. I know Sammy Watkins is injured. I know we lost Kareem Hunt. But we have the best quarterback in football this year. We have Patrick Mahomes, who's thrown a touchdown he's thrown 45 touchdowns this year to 11 interceptions. He has the second best quarterback rating in football below Drew Brees. 114 quarterback rating. Are you kidding me? Man, it is just so frustrating. That's all I can say. But you know what, Chiefs Kingdom, rise up. Rise up to the occasion. Rise up to fire Bob Sutton. And if Andy Reid doesn't get his act together next year, if he doesn't get his act together, then he's next. Because you know what? We're the fans who go out to each and every single game to expect something great. And you know what? Sometimes we do see some stuff great. But whenever we lose to the Chargers in the fashion that we did, that is unacceptable. When I'm at work, it is unacceptable if I do not give the absolute best greatness. And Andy Reid should be held accountable just the same. And the Chargers game was absolutely unacceptable. 14-point lead with 8 minutes left, and everyone in that stadium knew that Phillip Rivers was going to do exactly what he did. And yes, I'm not nitpicking. And yes, I know that we were, 20-1 in the past 21 games in our division. And I can't sit here and just be like, man, we're going to win every single game. But you know what? That game was winnable. And we had a coach who didn't want to win the game. And I know Andy wants to win every game. But he will always beat himself. And I will leave it at that. Andy Reid needs to go. We need to move on from Andy Reid. How many NFC Championship games did he go to with the Eagles? How many? 3, I think it was. 2 or 3, maybe 4. He went to the Super Bowl once. He lost to the Patriots. He lost in the other 2 to 3 NFC Championship games. Andy Reid will not win a Super Bowl. He will go down as the coach who never won the big one. Leave your thoughts and comments down below. I want to know. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Man, this is Talk Junkies. I do 1 to 2 videos every week on the Kansas City Chiefs. Jesse and I will hit it up at least once a week on Kansas City Chiefs. We also talk about worldviews and other things like that. Follow us on Twitter at Talk Junkies. I will talk to you later.